The first time you walk onto a trading floor, it swallows you whole. Hundreds of desks, thousands of screens, numbers moving faster than any human should be able to follow. And somewhere in that roar of money, there's a tiny spot for you. You're 22, your suit doesn't quite fit, and you're about to find out whether you're built for the most brutal money game on earth. Nobody starts at the top here. You start as an intern, invisible, fetching coffee and carrying documents for people who don't remember your name. You stay until midnight. You come back at dawn. And here's the strange part nobody believes, even at the very bottom, this world pays. 85, 100,000 a year for a kid who's mostly just watching and learning. But then you do the math on the hours, 80, 90, 100 a week, and you realize you're barely making minimum wage. That's the deal you signed. Time for a shot. So you survive on caffeine and fear, and you study the market until it starts to make sense. Slowly, you stop being the kid in the corner. You become an analyst, sitting beside people who've done this for years, building the models, learning to read the heartbeat of the market. Red and green, up and down, fortunes made and lost in the space of a breath. With a good bonus, you clear 150,000. And the day finally comes when they stop letting you watch and they let you play. Your first real trade. One hand on the phone, one on the keyboard, your whole body electric. And when it hits, when the screen floods green and you realize you just made the firm more money than your parents made all year, nothing in the world feels like that. But the market is a patient teacher, and its next lesson is cruel. The trade turns. The numbers bleed red, money vanishing by the second, and you learn the rule that saves every trader who survives. The moment you let it become emotional, you've already lost. You learn to feel nothing. You learn to be ice. And that's when you stop being a rookie. You're a trader now, running your own book, calm in the middle of the storm, and the money grows with you. 200,000-300,000 a year. The suit gets sharper. You walk the floor and people move out of your way. You make calls with millions riding on them and you keep your face perfectly still, win or lose. The bonuses land like small fortunes. The car comes, the apartment with the view. But nobody talks about what it costs. The dinners eaten alone at your desk while the city sleeps. The relationships that quietly fall apart. The way this place chews people up and spits them out by 35, burned out, hollow, done. The ones who last aren't the smartest. They're the ones who can carry the weight without breaking. Carry it long enough and you rise again. A senior trader leading a desk, teaching the terrified analysts who look exactly like you used to. $500,000, $1 million a year. And then, one day, the test that decides everything arrives without warning. The market crashes. Every screen turns red at once. Billions evaporate. Grown adults are frozen at their desks. And everyone turns to look at you. This is the moment the great ones are made. While the room panics, you go still and you make the calls that matter. When it's over, you're the one left standing. And that's how you become head of the desk. Running the entire floor, millions flowing through your decisions every single day. But the top of this mountain isn't working for the bank. It's building your own. You open your own fund. You stand in a room full of investors and convince them to trust you with their fortunes. And if you're right, if you can do the one thing almost nobody can, and beat the market year after year, you reach a level of wealth most people can't even picture. The best in the world make tens, hundreds of millions a year. The mansion, the sports car, the bell on the exchange floor, that's the part everyone sees. Here's the part they don't. What you see online, the guy renting a Lamborghini, promising he'll teach you to get rich quick. That was never this. Almost everyone who trades alone loses. The real thing was never fast and it was never easy. It was built in sleepless nights and ice-cold nerves and years most people would never survive. And after all of it, the money, the crashes, the climb, you find yourself back at a desk watching the market move, because somewhere along the way it stopped being about the money and started being about the game. Across the floor, a terrified kid in a suit that doesn't fit walks in for the very first time. And you smile because you know exactly what's ahead of them. If this one pulled you in, do me a favor, hit that like, and tell me in the comments what you thought. And if there's a job you've always wondered about, drop it below, because the next career I break down might be the one you pick. Subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.